Welcome to Seoul, Korea, guys. This is the GSL Team League. I am Doa, and with me is Moletrap, and today we have quite an awesome set of Team League matches. Well, I've got some good news and some bad news for you today, Moletrap.
Well, you know I like my dessert first. What's the good news?
All right, well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the bad news first. The bad news is that we only have 2 matches today, but the good news is that they're Team League matches, so they're going to be plenty long. We're going to get to see a lot of great games. I love the Team League. Here comes our first team of the day. It is going to be F United. These guys caused quite a stir last week, didn't they?
They certainly did stir the pot, Doa. They were pot-stirring fiends. Mixing things up, doing what no one expected. There they are, giving a bow.
And, yeah, these guys, you know, last time when we were on the Team League, I think it was Wolf and I that was casting that. We were talking about how much cohesiveness these guys have in a team. And I was talking to Naniwan, Phoenix earlier today, and it sounds like they're all really getting along well. Yeah. Phoenix is telling me they're practicing 12 hours a day. And so, yeah, as a team, they're really starting to come together. They were able to win last week against MVP. Yeah, man. And this week they're going up against SlayerS, of course. And I know SlayerS was a very strong team in the Team League previously. This season hasn't won a single match yet.
Yeah, that's... Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
That's kind of the story of this match is we have the underdogs, the F United team, who in a way are not the underdogs because SlayerS is also an underdog because they
got more wins.
They haven't really won a match yet this season.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's the F United team, kind of a spotlight. Key players Moon and Naniwa. Probably the 2 most successful. Well, I guess Thorzane's actually been relatively successful as well.
Oh yeah.
All very successful players actually. Anyway. Moon, former Code A player, former GSL Open player, and Thorzane, the closer, since he in fact closed things out, closed out 3 of the MVP team last time, even though he didn't actually win the last game. He was the strongest player there as far as results go, and here we have, look at that map, it's just an arrow pointing right at MVP.
Yep, that's right, and MVP is playing a little bit later today. They're a second match, MVP versus Prime, but here's F United. There it is. Only 6 of these guys, half Koreans, half foreigners.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, the F is for Fox, since Soccer, Lin, and oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot Moon's name.
Moonwolf.
Moon, of course, probably the most famous Warcraft 3 player ever, even though I just forgot his name right now. Anyway, so they're on We Made Fox team, and then the United is them uniting with 3 foreign players coming here from MLG and other places to participate here in the Team League. That would be, of course, Phoenix, Naniwa, and Thorzane.
You know, I was gonna say Moon Moletrap, but just saying the word Moon made the word Wolf come out of my mouth. Next, I don't know how my brain works. It's just kind of how it is.
That would be funny if Wolf was here and he started howling at Moon.
Yeah, Wolf, if any of you guys are wondering why he hasn't been around at all this week, he's actually on a little bit of a vacation in Japan. So he'll be back next week. Don't you guys worry. The Moon is the same in Japan as it is in Korea.
What?
And Wolf is howling at it. Right? I don't know. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, there's F United.
We Made Moon. Yeah, there's the team. And yeah, so I'm really curious to see what happens here, man, because SlayerS, they're looking to put a win on the board here. And here's the SlayerS theme.
Electric Romeo.
Ooh.
All right.
I like it. And the SlayerS team walking out.
Their team. There's SlayerS, of course, and here's my big question about this match today. Because SlayerS is basically out of the running for the playoffs, you know, they're kind of playing for pride right now.
Yeah.
Are they going to give some of their newer players more playtime? Were you actually going to see more of Frozen, maybe more of Eve, even? You know, who are these guys going to play? I'm really curious to see who they choose.
Yeah, well, they are going to be starting off with Tasia, of course, who has had some kind of middling success, I would say. I mean, he obviously went out and his first time in the Team League got an all-kill.
Yeah, that's right.
And so he's a very strong player, especially against Protoss.
Yep.
And so he's going to be starting things off, but he's also had, you know, some failures as well. He's gone out in the Team League as well and lost the first match. And so it depends on how well he's playing today, what kind of game he can bring.
Well, the thing with Tasia, too, is that he's actually in the semifinals of Code A this season, too, so he's certainly doing well in the individual league that he's in right now. And in case you guys are wondering, too, about SlayerS Coca, that's right, if some of you may not know this, SlayerS actually signed Coca very good Zerg player, used to be on the team Zenex, but now he's on the team SlayerS. I believe it's too late to add him to the roster for this team league, so we won't see him today.
Yeah, exactly. They have some rules about you cannot change your roster after a certain point in the team league.
Yep.
And so they are not able to change things around. And here is the SlayerS team highlights. Look at that. GSTL March champion, GSTL May champion, GSTL February round of 8. Did not get very far in that first one since the round of 8 was the first round.
No, they got knocked out right away in the very first GSTL, but yeah, came back in a big way. I think a lot of people were expecting SlayerS to do, a lot better in this team league. Now that we've gone to this longer format, it's been kind of surprising to see how some of the teams that have done well previously haven't done that great. The MVP is another example of that hasn't really done all that well quite yet.
Yeah.
As you can see there, this must be, I would assume this must be wins from all the GSTLs combined possibly, because SlayerS hasn't won any games or any matches yet this season. So that must be what that graph shows us. Obviously they did beat MVP a couple times as well. And of course you're not seeing like IM on there or anything like that, because there are 2 different leagues in the team league right now. There's the Jupiter and the Venus League.
Yeah.
And there's the team right there. Who are we going to see today? I'd love to see like Brown and Golden play. Brown is actually a player who was in Code A a couple seasons ago, lost in the round of 32, and I'm surprised to see him still on the team actually. At that point, Cello was telling me, he's just kind of a provisional player. He's earned the right to stay in the team house for a month. If he does well after that month, we'll keep him. If not, we'll let him go. Looks like he did well enough that they're going to keep him around, so I would absolutely love to see him play today.
Yep, he's still over there on the bench right now.
Yep.
As I believe is SlayerS Golden. Yes, SlayerS Golden over there as well. A Zerg player who actually did play in the team league for SlayerS a season or 2 ago and got a win or 2.
Yeah. So
although those weren't the most spectacular games.
Maybe not. There's Cello, of course. One of the probably most popular Korean players in the foreign scene.
Cello's awesome.
Streams a lot, yeah. Super nice guy, always willing to talk. And there, of course, is the coach for F United as well. A lot of pressure on that guy, actually, to take this team of 6 people that really haven't worked together and try to make them into a successful team league team. That is a lot of pressure.
Indeed.
So there, of course, they were just kind of reviewing the rules. No hits below the belt in this team league. Here's our standings so far in the Jupiter division. Of course, TSL way on top. Nobody can stop these guys.
Yeah, man.
TSL
they're
is just
12-4 as far as individual games go.
They're doing quite well. And then we've got kind of a 2-way tie for second. MVP and F United, of course, have won a little bit. Yeah. And it's a little bit misleading because F United is only there because they've only played, one other match.
Exactly. So they could go either way. Actually, they could clinch second if they take a win today, or if they take a loss today, then they'll still stay in third for now. But they, there's a basically TSL's been dominating. So it's actually not. If they win another match or 2, they could end up pretty high up. They could even theoretically end up in the playoffs at this rate. Of course, no one is expecting that because there are foreigners coming in here, but you never know. They did show us some really good games last week, and they're playing against a team today that has not won a match yet this season.
Well, everybody's gunning for Thorzane today. I was talking to Ryung and a couple other guys on SlayerS before the match, and I was like, well, what's your plan, And they're just like, oh, Thorzane, kill Thorzane.
Exactly.
So they want to take out Thorzane. That's the plan. And I know they've got a couple people prepared to do just that. Yeah. But even if they get through Thorzane, they still have to take on Naniwa. I was talking to Naniwa before the cast today. He told me, I feel like my gameplay has just been completely broken down since coming to Korea. And he's not saying that he's fallen apart as a player. He's saying that basically he's kind of had to go back to where he started and kind of almost. He says he feels like he's relearning how to play the game.
His eyes have been opened to the possibilities, and he's able to now kind of explore that. And you know what? Phoenix, for instance, another guy who we might be seeing today. I feel like he was talking about how he's been practicing a lot as well. I don't think we've even seen what he's capable of yet. Yeah. And then there's the fact that he's now been in Korea for 2 solid weeks, practicing with pro gamers in a pro house, practicing on the Korean ladder, doing a lot of custom games. Yeah. So he's someone that might be able to show us. I mean, he almost won his first game last week. He actually almost won it. Just kind of fell apart in the late game.
Well, he was.
for him.
I'm really curious to see him play if we do get to see him, because he was telling me about how they're practicing literally 12 hours a day over there. They do get breaks here and there for like dinner and lunch and things like that. But I'm curious to see what, because he's never practiced like that before. He told me, this is the most I've ever played. So I'm curious to see, what that amount of playing is going to do for his play in just such a short amount of time. It'll be cool to see if it really has any sort of noticeable effect, because, I was surprised to hear him say that too, because it seems like a lot of SC2 teams don't even practice for that much. Most do like 8 to 10 hours or so. Now, 12 is like Brood War, levels almost. Like 12 to 14 is what you hear a lot about some of the Brood War
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But of course, the first player going out for Team F United today is going to be Soccer.
Yeah.
There he is, the man himself. Soccer is a Protoss player, and all the We Made players are all War 3 pros, by the way. So Soccer was a Warcraft 3 pro as well. He has not had too much success thus far in the GSL. He actually got into Code A last season, but was taken out in the round of 32 by Bonbon. And previous to that, he actually, he beat a player named Shuttle from NS Hoso to get into that Code A. So that is his only experience actually versus Terran, is that we have on record, at least that I have been able to dig up.
Sure, and like tournament matches.
In tournament matches was those games against Shuttle. So we'll see how he does.
Well, now last week against MVP, Soccer got pretty crushed by Genius.
Yeah.
It was a pretty one-sided game.
It was pretty bad.
So I don't know.
That's why I'm kind of pointing out we don't know how he's going to do versus Terran.
Yeah.
Basically, although the thing is if you look at Taja's record versus Protoss, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and there he is, SlayerS Taja.
Look at that.
9-3 right now.
9-3.
Nice win-loss record.
And that's actually not even including some wins against Protosses in other tournaments.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good. He's definitely one of the many
good
rising stars in the SlayerS team. Of course, the Terrans are definitely the strongest race on that team right now, and he's.
They outnumber the others by like 3 to 1.
Well, yeah, that's like StarCraft 2 in Korea in general right now. There's twice as many Terrans as every other race at the moment.
That's true.
Yep. But I mean, some Terrans do stand out, and he's one of the ones that's starting to, I feel. We'll have to see how he does in the Code A semifinals coming up. He's actually playing another SlayerS Terran. He's playing Ganzi.
Yeah, there's guaranteed to be a SlayerS Terran in the finals of Code A, since Ganji and Taser are playing together.
That's right.
And, yeah. So anyway, both players are ready to go. There they are facing off. The first map here is going to be on Belshire Beach. And just a reminder to you guys, both the teams pick a player kind of blindly. They don't know who the other player is going to be, so they pick someone to send out first.
Yep.
And there's often some strategy involved in that. And then the team of the loser picks who to send out, and they pick the map. So they can decide, all right, well, we've got a special strategy to beat this Protoss if he wins, or what have you. And they can send out specific strategies on certain maps. First map is going to be Belshire Beach. It's going to be a Protoss versus Terran. Tasia versus Soccer. I think Tasia definitely the favorite here.
Oh, yeah.
Soccer has some proving to do. Can he prove himself here at the GSTL? Let's find out.
I absolutely love the Team League. I'm so excited to be here. Moltrap, here we have our yellow Protoss team from the Team F United. He is.
F United, Soccer.
Whoa, jumping right into that one.
That's right.
Give me a lot of time there. There's Soccer. War 3 Pro turned StarCraft 2 Pro. How's he going to do today against this guy? Here is our Blue Terran player from the Team SlayerS. He's gotten an all-kill in the Team League before. He is.
SlayerS, Taja.
Taja, of course, meaning, well, not of course, I didn't find this out until recently. I'm like, oh, of course, his name means prince, or something like that. Something similar, like prince, some sort of royalty. Wants to be the king of Terran, the prince of Terran.
The Xenex player formerly known as Crown Prince.
That's right. Next he's going to have just like a symbol for his name when he comes back next season.
Formerly known as Xenex Tasia.
Yep. Yeah, SlayerS acquiring a couple players from Xenex. First Taja, and now Coca, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that as this game kind of gets started. I think picking up Coca was a great move.
Oh, yeah.
Coca's a very good Zerg player. I would say one of the best players on Xenex, and if there's one thing that SlayerS really needs right now, it's definitely a good Zerg. They've got Min, they've got Yu-Gi-Oh! Those guys are okay, but,
yeah, but
Coke is definitely...
Coke is a Code S Zerg.
Yeah, he's a good Zerg. Yeah. Now they just need a good Protoss. I mean, Alicia's good, but I feel like they need more than just
Alicia, he is good, but I feel like he has been, I don't know, he lost something somewhere along the way, and he hasn't been playing his best recently. So you're right, I think they could stand to have a really good Protoss, a more solid, longevitous Protoss.
Right.
On the team. Although we'll see what Alicia does next season. He was in the round of 16 or round of 8 at one point of Code S. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back. I mean, he's an accomplished Protoss, obviously the most accomplished on the SlayerS team right now. But, it's kind of like you mentioned. He was doing well for a while, then the results kind of started to be reduced a little bit, but I wouldn't count him out for sure. So, TVP on Belshire Beach can be kind of interesting. It's kind of a weird map, honestly. It's kind of difficult to do some of those one-base pushes, I think, that we've seen a lot of players do on this map. Just from the games I've seen, they haven't been quite as successful. You can see a command center from Teja kind of being hidden up on the high ground like that. And although I would say that if that bunker gets scouted, that's kind of a good giveaway that it's a gasless, fast expand for Terran. Because that's really one of the only reasons you would blindly make that bunker like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Soccer should know what's going on.
Sometimes you see a bunker if they're going for Banshees, I guess. But
yeah, you do sometimes too.
But yeah, I think it's probably the option that he's going to be thinking of.
Mm-hmm. Now, what we've been seeing Protoss players doing on this map, conversely, as, nice little micro against these out there. He might be able to. Chasing it down. Nope, he does let it go. Zelt's down to just 27 hit points.
Oh, man. One more volley.
I know, man.
I would have polished that off.
So, what we've seen some Protoss players do, it's kind of a fun thing to do on this map, is you can hide some tech up on that high ground. Kind of tough to scout early on unless you're a Zerg.
Yep.
4 more barracks going down for Teja right now, so he's going to be going for a pretty heavy bio push. And no gas yet, actually, interestingly enough.
Oh.
I wonder if he's going to be getting, like, maybe 1 gas a little bit, possibly do some sort of combat shields timing. There's a couple options you can go into, from this 4 barracks opening, but
yeah. And now that
it's going to be a lot of Marines.
Now that he's seen that there's not really much pressure, he has seen the Nexus as well from F United Soccer. He's decided, okay, I'm going to salvage that bunker, move out a little bit, take my natural, and then he's just going to start powering off of 4 racks. He has gotten double gas, so he's going to be able to start raking in the gas here pretty soon and start building add-ons and upgrades.
Well, he'll probably do 1 add-on, then put down the factory and the starport, get the medevacs rolling. Kind of doubt he would go for something like fast ghosts, although it's possible. We see it every once in a while. A couple stalkers here. Oh, these guys might actually be getting trapped by these Marines.
Oh no, they're coming from behind.
They came from behind.
That's right. Nice, and Tej is going to take out 2. Is he going to get the 3rd? Yes, the Marine actually blocks that Stalker.
That is a huge loss for Soccer so early in the game. And yeah, when these Marines move in, might be a little bit difficult to hold. Although he does have 3 sentries, I think he might be okay. But yeah, definitely a big misstep by Stalker so early in the game.
Yeah, those
Stalkers.
Soccer Stalkers. Yeah, that was actually really huge. That was the bulk of Soccer's army, and here he comes in with some Marines now. He's going to chase back that... Oh, the Stalker barely survives. There's that Zealot with no hit points from before is now going to die with the first round. He's actually put all of his units with no hit points in front.
Oh, man. Lost that Zealot to those Marines. Those force fields really didn't help him any.
Oh, my God.
Soccer is in huge trouble right now. He's going to take so much damage from this, even if these Marines do get cleaned up. Look at that, just trying to micro the Stalkers away to kill any Marines he can. Nice Marine micro there, sniping that Zealot before he even kills more than 1 Marine.
And this is just the expeditionary force of Teja right here, man.
I know. This is just a couple Marines, man. This is...
Trying to pick off some probes now.
Yeah.
While he has these... Oh, is he going to get... No, the Stalker survives with 12 hit points. But, wow, SlayerS Teja just sent out a few units that he happened to have around, killed everything Soccer had, and in the meantime has gotten Stim, Combat Shields, +1, Marauders, etc., etc. But here's the thing. There's a Dark Shrine going up.
Yeah,
back of
I
Soccer's
noticed
base.
that.
Kind of the Protoss that gets canceled. Never mind.
Yep, well, I don't think it would work anyway. I mean, did he scout the missile turrets that are going up right now at Tage's base?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if a Terran fast expands against you in your Protoss going Dark Shrine, you're kind of like, oh, I hope he doesn't have any scans, and I hope he didn't build an engineering bay. You know, it's kind of, it's not going to work for like a frontal assault that early in
DTs
the
can
game.
be a legitimate build, they can be an expansion build, they can be used for pressure and map control, but sometimes they're just the oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. It's a last-ditch effort to try and squeeze an advantage out if you're really in trouble, is to catch them off guard with DTs. So I think that's why he was kind of teching that direction, but he switched it up now. He said, all right, well, Taja's not trying to finish me off at this moment. I'm going to try to draw this out. I didn't lose too many probes, so if he doesn't kill me right now, I should be able to draw this out into a longer game.
Yeah, it would have been a very good protection move to have the DTs and things like that. Looks like +1 armor on the way as well as charge, which can be pretty good against Bio. Definitely wants to get more than 2 Zealots before he makes much more Zealot upgrades. So the question is kind of where he's going to go from here. He could go into something like possibly Speedlot Archon. You know, we've seen that quite a bit in TVP lately. I don't feel like it's quite as successful. If your opponent has good EMPs. What is it?
You know why? I was just saying, I think I see why he canceled the Dark Shrine, because Taja, I think, scanned and saw it.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense then. All right, so it will be Templar Archives. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he went Speedlot Archon, of course, Storm. Quite good against Bio as well, too. And so then, you know, you have a pretty typical kind of mid to late game TVP where you end up with the Terran having Ghosts trying to EMP things and the Protoss trying to get Storms off on things. So it really comes down to kind of a battle of positioning and spellcasters.
Here's the thing, though, is Taja actually has a very Marauder-heavy army, which is going to be very, very good against things like Storms and, well, basically just Protoss ground in general, and especially because he's going to have those slows. And, you know, the disadvantage of having not many Marines is you're vulnerable to air, but Taja knows he can't go air at the same time.
You know what, Moltrap?
What's going on?
You might catch some of this army.
Oh, no, he might.
Stimming ahead, sniping a sentry. Very nice job there. Yeah, he's going after the sentries, too. Really nice job by SlayerS Taja.
Very smart.
Yeah, this guy, man, he's getting really good. There's some nice little moves he's doing right now. Picking off a 3rd sentry. A couple of Archons out right now. Oh, that's not so good. Loading up the... Okay, there we go.
Nice.
Saves most of the Bio there. 1 Zealot didn't get the memo to be on the other side of the force field, apparently.
And
he's actually going to
he needs to be careful about those medevacs.
Wow. The Zealot that lived. Narrow escape there for those medevacs. And now Taja needs to kind of fall back, be a little bit safer. He's going to send out a drop. And this is kind of the nice thing about that Speedlot, you know, Archon, Templar sort of composition about Protoss, is that, you know, their Stalkers don't have Blink or anything like that. They're not quite as mobile as some of the other compositions, I feel. A little bit easier to get some drops going on. On the other hand, if the Protoss kind of figures out what you're trying to do, if you're trying to drop a lot, it's really easy to defend drops with small groups of Speedlots, too. So it can kind of backfire against you at the same time.
Yes, indeed. +2 ground armor is almost completed for the Zealots of Soccer, by the way. Here's that drop coming in. Nice. Snipes the Templar that was warping in. I think it was a Templar or a Zealot.
And this is not how to defend a drop.
It's going to pick off a lot here. No.
Warping in units one at a time. Kills some pretty expensive units and then just heads out. Nice little move by SlayerS Taja. That force field is keeping those probes very safe.
Yeah, man.
I
think that might have been a force field that was cast during the battle. It didn't happen anymore. I don't know.
Maybe. Tough to say, but getting taken out there.
At the very least, those warping in those single Zealots did distract long enough for his whole army to get back there, and Soccer just chrono boosted his Templar Archives with nothing going on there.
Now, Soccer does have a 3rd going, and Taja hasn't quite taken his quite yet. He's just kind of powering 2 bases quite a bit while he waits for his command center
drop
to finish.
Going back in. He's going to feed back it. He needs to feed back it.
He's going to get that Templar. He does feed back the medevac. Going to lose the Templar again. Kind of a little bit slow reactions from Soccer right now, but there you can see just how nicely those little groups of Speedlots do at defending drops once you have that kind of
exactly. Soccer barely lost anything there. There's a little bit of battle. I don't think either player expected this to happen.
Oh boy, those Ghosts getting caught in the open. Some decent EMPs going down on those Templars. And it looks like right now Teja has the big advantage here. Not a lot of speed lots in this army. Storm kind of whipping there, barely scraping some of the units, and SlayerS Teja's in a great position in this game right now.
Oh, I think he's in a winning position right now. He's chasing down this army, but
he might.
I don't think he's going to be able to fall back to anything. I don't think those Templar quite have Storm yet, no. And so he's just going to be able to go in here and kite all he wants.
Yep. Yeah, things aren't looking very good for Soccer at the moment here. Making a couple Archons, just not very many speed lots. I mean, he was kind of planning on those being a big part of his army, but just couldn't get the numbers high enough to really make that Bioforce worry. And yeah, I think that's going to be it, Moltrap.
Yeah, I think we have a GG incoming in any moment now. Soccer may try and fight it out with 2 bases, but he's going to lose his entire base. And it's really too bad that he didn't get some better spells off with his Templar. It could have been a lot different story if he'd feed back the Medivacs, which were full of energy. Could have popped them right out of the air before that battle happened. But instead, Teja's going to charge into the expansion here and killing the Templar before they can even cast anything.
Yeah, and I mean, Teja's won this. There it is. GG. SlayerS Teja taking the team one step closer to their first GSTL match win this season. Soccer obviously not looking pleased. And I mean, it didn't really go very well for him. He never really got things going. Teja getting some congratulatory high 10s there.
And it all comes back to early on, he tried to pressure with his 3 Stalkers, which is not unusual. It's not usually very risky because Stalkers can kite all day against Marines. But Teja just happened to be in the right place, planned or not, I'm not sure, that he could come in from behind with his Marines and kill those Stalkers. And that gave him enough of an advantage to do a counterattack, and it just crippled Soccer just way too early. And even though he did do a valiant effort of coming back, he just didn't have quite the bulk that he needed with his army later on.
Yeah.
Or the map control. Teja could just kind of do whatever he wanted, tech whatever he wanted the entire game, kind of snowballed.
There was one kind of subtle thing that I was kind of thinking about with that, is that when Teja did his gasless, 1 racks expand, he added on 3 more racks after that, so he was actually up to 4 barracks. And a lot of times you see Terran players only going for 3. So, if you think about those Marines, him having that many less Marines, the things might have been a little bit different with the Stalker situation. So I wonder if it was something, kind of subtle like that made the difference.
Yeah,
it's kind of tough to say. I mean, Soccer was out of position either way with the Stalkers. But.
Yeah, Teja had the production to take advantage of that situation, so he kind of lucked out in that sense as well. And so in any case, we're going to be finding out here pretty soon who F United is going to send out next to face Teja.
Everybody's waiting for Thorzane, Moltrap. That's who.
They won't want Thorzane's blood today, man.
Thorzane die.
I'm thinking Moon might be who they're going to send out next.
Maybe.
That's my guess.
Last week, so
we're going to find out here pretty soon. Although they have been practicing, the War 3 players have been practicing for Warcraft 3 WCG, so perhaps
Moon's looking
not.
around very suspiciously. I've got a feeling.
And is it a fake out or is it the real deal?
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal. We made Fox Moon.
Yep.
Going out to face Teja.
So Teja has a TVZ on his hands. Moon, of course, everybody kind of knows this guy. He hasn't been too successful in the GSL Team League lately, or the GSL in general. He's been in Code A a couple times, been in some of the open seasons, has kind of failed to qualify for Code A now for a couple seasons. But, still a decent Zerg player. Have to see how he can do in the Team League. Obviously, he's still playing Warcraft 3 at the same time that he's playing StarCraft 2, and that does cut into your schedule in a big, big way.
Yeah. And, Moon has been able to do okay against Terrans in the past in the GSL. He's actually only got about 50-50 win rate recently. Not even that, as far as overall record. But he has shown a lot of growth since his early days. I remember he loves his burrowed banelings. I remember in open season 3 or something like that. Yeah, he would burrow these banelings and explode them at the wrong time and kill like a single Marine.
Well, there's that famous clip, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then a couple seasons later, though, he was actually landing those and being a very strong opponent. So,
that's kind of the rough thing about doing televised matches is you make one big mistake like that and suddenly you're known as that guy. Everyone talks about Moon Banelings. Everyone talks about the best Banshees. It's tough. You don't want to be that guy in StarCraft 2.
No, you don't.
Yeah. It's like a one-time thing. It's
Yeah.
too bad.
And then, of course, the other thing to think about is that Tasia, his worst matchup statistically is versus Zerg. So
That's not too
they're
surprising.
sending out their Zerg player right now, their strong Zerg player.
Their
to,
only Zerg player.
Well, their only Zerg player to try and pull this out. It's a smart move, I think. They've still gotten anyone. Thorzane on the bench as well.
Yep.
So-
Phoenix too. Can't
and
come
Phoenix,
up.
of course.
Count him up. And Lin is a good TV tier as well. So
That's true. You know, we haven't seen a ton from Lin lately, but he actually got very far in Code S a few seasons ago. I think to the round of 8, if I remember correctly. I could be remembering that wrong, but I remember he was very, very good before. We just haven't seen him in a while since he dropped out. So not sure what shape he's in right now.
yeah, I'm curious to see. I say I'm curious to see a lot when I'm talking about something, but I really am. I'm always like before a game, I'm like, oh, what is he gonna do? I'm so excited to see what opening it's gonna be. So yeah, I'm curious to see what exactly Taja's going to do in TVZ. You know, obviously, since MLG, we've been seeing a lot of that Blue Flame Hellion Marine pressure.
That's true.
Is he going to do that like a lot of the other Terrans have been doing lately, or is he going to do something a bit different? We saw a really cool opening by, who was it, against Lenok the other day. It was...
Talking about the Reaper opening?
I'm talking about the, not the Maka, like, Reaper... Marine all in, but like the expand that I'm Yoda did. That's what it was, where he went 3 racks Speed Reaper with Blue Flame Hellion on Belshire Beach, and there's actually enough room in that opening for a command center too. So it's a slower second, but it's not an all in, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about that. QXC and I were
That could be
actually
interesting as
looking
well.
at that opening in depth the other day, but it'd be cool. I like Reapers, like Speed Reapers. I
do
like to
too.
interrupt Mole Trap.
Knock, knock.
Who's
Moo.
there? Oh,
Sorry. The next map
that's
is
what
going
I
to
have to put up with.
The next map is going to be Tal'Darim Altar, which is a little bit harder to pull off that kind of a strategy. I think it does have the cliff where you can go up into the natural with Reapers.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, it's an okay map for that because there's like 3 different ways to get in.
Well, they're really
to
fast
the main with
too.
Reapers. Come to think of it.
Yeah, I mean, when you get the speed
I was
upgrade
thinking about
for
just the
Reapers-
natural being protected, but you can go in from the side, you can go in from the top.
Yeah, there's that kind of like, I call it the ridiculous cliff. Like, that's by each base where you have to go down, and then there's like a cliff that you shouldn't be able to be on. You can jump into somebody's base.
The one where you sometimes see players dropping like siege tanks there,
Yeah.
and they're like, haha, I'm on the low ground, but
You
it's
can-
kind of similar to the high ground
You
because
can
you can't
blink
get
across
me.
it. The ridiculous
It's
cliff.
a fun little ridiculous cliff.
I don't know. But yeah, the Speed Reaper Blue Flame Hellion thing would work okay. The Blue Flame Hellion Marine thing would also work okay, just because you incorporate Medivacs into that. We're going to do some interviews here.
외국 선수들이 온지 뭐 며칠 안 돼가지고 좀 연승량이 부족했었고 또 한국 선수들도 워3를 병행해서 연승량이 좀 부족했는데 MVP전을 승리하게 돼가지고 선수들이 자신감을 많이 얻었습니다. 저희가 뭐 딱히 뭐 스나이핑 카드를 뭐 이렇게 준비한 건 없고요. 선수들이 좀 이제 선수층이 얇아서 일단 저희 기존에 있는 뭐 선수들끼리 똘똘 뭉쳐서 저번 MVP전보다는 연습 기간이 길어서 좀 이제 서로 얘기 좀 많이 하고 저희 팀원들끼리 좀 많은 연습을 했습니다. 그래서 MVP 전보다는 조금 이제 자신감 있게 선수들이 이번에 임할 수 있을 것 같아요. 이번에 슬레이어스와 경기를 하게 됐는데 저희가 이제 테란이 강팀인 이제 슬레이어스 팀을 상대로 테란전을 많이 준비했습니다. 오늘 테란전 많이 준비했으니까 좋은 경기 부탁드립니다. 네.
지금 자력으로는 진출하기가 정말 힘든 상황이라서 개인적인 심정이나 뭐 팀 분위기가 많이 안 좋긴 해요. 팀 리그에 대해서. 그리고 많은 여론들도 안 좋고요. 그런데 아무리 희망이 낮다고 해도 1%의 희망이라도 있으면 그거에 대해 최선을 다하고 그리고 나서 마지막 결과에 대해 아쉬워하고 슬퍼해도 된다고 생각해서 선수들 모두 열심히 준비하고 있고요. 열심히 준비했고요. 다만 승부의 세계라는 게 알 수 없는 거기 때문에 그거에 대한 그 노력이 없었다고까지는 생각되지 않습니다. 네, F유나이트 팀이 그 국내 선수와 해외 선수들이 잘 갖춰진 팀이기 때문에 분석하는데 약간 애를 먹긴 했는데 그래도 해외 선수들은 제가 많이 VOD나 리플레이를 많이 찾아보면서 그 선수에 대해 이제 약한 부분이나 이런 것을 중점적으로 선수들한테 요구를 했고요. 어떻게 이제 그런 변수들을 잘 끄집어내느냐가 이번 팀 리그의 승리의 최대한 관건이라고 생각해서 선수들이 연습한 만큼 좋은 결과가 있을 거라고 생각합니다. 어찌 보면 이번이 저희는 이제 배수의 진이죠. 벼랑 끝에 서 있기도 하고요. 하지만 이번 승리를 함으로써 한 발자국 더 버틸 수 있는 굳건한 땅을 다지고 싶은 마음이 정말 간절합니다. 그래야만 다음 경기에서 이겨서 플레이오프를 진출시킬 수도 있을 확률이 높고요. 그래서 선수들 모두 한마음 한뜻으로 최선을 다하는 모습 보여드릴 테니까 재밌는 경기 만들었으면 좋겠습니다.
All right, that's another interesting dynamic to think about this match, actually. The fact that SlayerS morale is kind of low right now because they've been doing poorly in the team league.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, you know, F United's morale might be kind of high right now, doing pretty well. Thorzen getting some water, walking right behind us right now.
Yep. He looked kind of funny in the interview.
It was like
had
sleeping.
that little impish smile as he was drifting off to sleep there. I don't know, maybe still a little bit jet lagged. He's been here a week. He's probably fine.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too is remember they actually won last week with like basically no sleep and no preparation, and now they've been here for over a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, playing solidly the entire time.
So as we talked a little bit about earlier, set 2 is Taldrum Altar. Interesting map for a TVZ. A lot of Terrans have been a little bit struggling in the matchup lately. There's been kind of a lack of innovation in TVZ. Up until the last couple weeks, we kind of saw the same thing over and over again. Now we're starting to see some new stuff. Terrans are starting to win again. The sun is rising, or will it be the moon this game? Moletrap.
Let's find out. We're going to get into the game here in just a moment. F United down a game. Can they tie it up?